everyone.
Welcome to Sports Biz Chat tonight. We are doing another fantastic show. We've got the NFL representing tonight, the NBA, and we've got gurus, or at least they call themselves gurus, but it's a term that we all like to fake we are. But here we are at SB Chat. Thank you for joining us. First off, I want to start with we're going to start with our lovely guest, NFL team, Arizona Cardinals, Coby Rich. Coby, I find it very interesting that the NFL is very much embracing social media when they've got the Fox Network, they've got NBC, they've got ESPN. Yeah, y'all have been one of the first leagues to really embrace social media. Why is that?
It's a real big push. We've seen, we had digital meetings around South by Southwest with the entire league, and it was really emphasized that our content is really gold right now. I mean, it's already stirring all the conversation on all social media platforms. Why not we get involved and further push that to get more eyes on our site, on our games, more importance. And like I was saying before we went on air, there's a whole week of anticipation, and you were saying each game means something. So why not, drive content each day to get more anticipation for games, and it's drawn much more, fan engagement, and everyone has seemed to really, put their eyeballs towards the NFL.
And, of course, I'm going to open it up to the floor, but I'll follow one more question. I'll open up to the floor. There's so much to cover for you guys. You've got the players, you've got the fans, you've got the draft, you've got owners. What's the most important thing you want to attack as far as content-wise? A lot of times players are hesitant. They're like, why do I need to do this? I'm already on live television in front of all millions of viewers. Why do I need to be doing this? What is your focus when you try and create content for the Arizona Cardinals?
It's from an organizational standpoint. We like to, when content, our goal is to drive our fans of social media to our site. It's really, from an organizational standpoint, is what we focus on. Facebook would be your kind of evergreen. That's how we look at it. And our Twitter followers is our diehard fans. Is how, at least from an organizational standpoint, we look at it. And that's how, according to that, our content is based on driving back to our site, promoting our writers, our video content, and that's our focus.
All right, open up to the floor. Anybody, you don't have to raise your hand. You can fire away. It's like a press conference. Go ahead. Don't be shy, folks.
I'm not the self-proclaimed guru, though. Just know that.
No, nobody's a guru in social media. It's all about storytelling.
Oh, cool.
Allison, you got a question?
What's the most exciting thing that's happened to you since you started working with the Cardinals?
Every day really is pretty exciting. I don't take it for granted that I work for a National Football League team. Each day, the way I come into the building, I walk through the locker room, and I never take that for granted. I really think it's really cool. Some of the most exciting stuff, I would say, is probably the traveling with the team, and just involvement with the players as well is obviously very exciting.
That's a good question because you travel with the team, you do all that stuff. I used to travel with the Dallas Cowboys, but I was a reporter, so they were, hesitant at times. Are you getting special access? Are you getting things that other reporters can't get? Or do they trust you more? That's something that I think will be very interesting 10 years from now when you guys are getting better stories than the actual traditional media.
Right, you're seeing it kind of go in that direction. We do get better access. I'm interested to ask you, did you travel on the team charter when you would travel with the Cowboys?
Yeah, when they were actually winning Super Bowls, when they actually mattered.
I remember that.
Yeah.
See, a lot of
you did? I didn't think you were born. I didn't think you were born back then.
I was young, but I was born.
Yeah, you were probably 4.
A lot of people, our beat writers, they won't, they feel it's a credibility issue to get on the plane. But there's no question we get.
I have no credibility. I flew with the team.
We get better access, and I think that's what really drives the heart of our content. That's what our fans want to see. There's pieces we could produce, like right now we have a web series called Zoom. It's in-depth, a lot of players. You get to see the other side of players that you don't normally see, and fans like that. But they're like 10-minute, 6 to 10-minute videos.
Yeah.
If we put up something like our quarterback throwing the football in a garbage can for like 10 seconds, I mean, that gets more hits than anything. Fans just want to see inside stuff.
Hey, let me give you a bit of advice. Throw a cat in the trash can. That'll really help. Cats get the most views on YouTube.
Yeah.
All right, Mandy, can you hear us now?
We can't hear
Are you
her.
helping her with her audio?
Uh-oh.
At least you can hear us. We can't hear you, but at least you're improving. You can finally hear us. We like that. He can type, and I can talk for her. It's okay. Hey,
You might want to check our mic settings, possibly.
Hey, Mandy, it's all good, man. This is what we call online going for, and I love that you went for this.
I think she should try to go back in. Get off and go back in.
You think so?
Yeah.
What do you think, Charles?
I don't know. I did hear when she bumped something earlier, I heard some sort of feedback come through. I wasn't sure how it happened, but I would assume you checked your gear up there at the top to see what your microphone was set to. There's a gear up there by the exit sign. And if you click on that, you'll see that there's microphone settings. You might be able to change your microphone around, and that might be able to help you.
Cool. See, Mandy,
No,
we're
I can't
not
hear
on.
you now.
I have a question for Coby.
Yes.
All right, go for it.
I have two questions, but I won't ask.
Mandy, I'm hanging with you. Hang in there. You're doing great.
My first question is kind of how you got into your position, and who do you guys report to? Do you have like a director of interactive marketing or marketing? And what did you do to get up there? Were you hired from another organization or agency or something?
My background was I started in local news in Texas, actually. Then I moved on I found a graduate assistantship at a Division II university in Mississippi. From there, they kind of gave me free range and total autonomy to kind of morph their TV coverage, and that also in turn was freedom in social media and with the website as well, and just really opened it up. And from that, I created a blog. I put all my work together, and but I'd be remiss if I didn't add that I worked with a guy in local news in Beaumont who interned with the Cardinals, and that got my foot in the door.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So he gave me their email address when they were looking for a position, and I got in touch with them, sent them all my work, and that's how that happened.
How long have you been there?
I've been here since July, so not even a full year yet.
That's what you were doing before July?
Yeah, working in Mississippi at Delta State University.
My other question, I don't know if you can reveal this, is
Oh, yeah, drill him.
I think a lot of teams are just like playing, the social game, meaning like they have all these followers, they have all these likes, they have all this audience that they're using. But what metrics do you go back to the board and say, hey, this is what we did, this is how it worked? I mean, obviously you're going to have success probably at anything like you were saying with that video, but how do you kind of say, this worked better than this is what we should do more of, let's, spend more of our time doing this and not that? What kind of metrics do you do, and do you do that in the off season? And again, like I said before, who do you report that kind of stuff to?
Okay, yeah. I report to, we're kind of unique in our organization. I report to, since I do a multitude of things, I'm underneath directly our executive producer who handles all of our TV stuff. But we're all under a vice president of marketing. She's her name's Lisa Manning. She's the head of a lot of stuff in our organization. So we report to the executive producer and also report to Lisa Manning. And as far as, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, keep going.
Okay. As far as content, like you said, we are playing the social game. We have some analytics services that the whole league uses. It's called Buddy Media. It helps with some of that. We're constantly, looking at analytics and just seeing what works, what triggers our fan base, because each fan base is unique. So we'll put, it's for example, it was a Friday, probably last month. We needed some engagement. Friday's pretty slow going into the weekend and everything, so we found out it was National Puppy Day about lunchtime. So we said, hey, fans, send us your pictures of your puppies in Cardinals gear, stuff like that.
That's pretty funny.
Tremendous.
That's why I told you, throw cats in the trash can.
Oh, that's what they told us at the meetings. They said pets. People love pets, so we needed
pets
that.
And kids, man.
That got some of our best response. A tweet that we put out after the Coyotes, the Phoenix Coyotes, the hockey team here, they clinched their division. We sent out a congratulations tweet, and it drew rave reviews. It's just a game. We study the analytics as much as we can. I get monthly and weekly emails on analytics, both from the social side and from our website side.
Caleb won't pump himself up, but he's got a thing called Tweet. What is it? Tweet All-Star? TweetStar?
TweetStar game.
TweetStar game, where he analyzes athletes and their influence. You may want to look at that. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely.
And Forbes,
I'm in talks with Twackle.
Forbes.com wrote an article on him. So he's Caleb's pretty big time here.
Forbes?
Mashable did.
Absolutely.
Forbes did it.
Give me information.
Oh, just go with it. I don't care who wrote the damn story.
I can't lie.
Let me lie for you. I don't give a crap. Forbes wrote the article on him. Mashable's bigger than Forbes, for goodness sakes.
Well, now they're CNN, but I want to hear what Coby was saying about.
I broke that story
about Twackle. Do you like Twackle?
I've just had some exploratory talks with him. I think I've had my first talk with him last week. I'm always open to looking.
Mandy, how are you doing over there? You're looking great on camera. Can you get a thumbs up? You still hearing us? She's frozen when I said that.
Yeah, Coby. Twackle was like the original hashtag, where it was like aggregating everything and putting it into. I think the Redskins were the first team to use it. I don't really see it as.
Hey, Coby, I got a question for you. So, do you have total freedom to tweet or comment or anything, or does that have to go through a filter first?
Yeah, we have we're lacking.
What's up?
In the social sphere. I personally, that's how I feel.
But they don't. But you have total reign. I'm talking about you specifically. Do they care if you just say whatever you want, or do you have to go through someone to monitor your own tweets?
No, there's me and another person in our organization. We both kind of have our own filter system within each other. But as far as contests or things like that, or any kind of leaking information or anything like that, there's just kind of a 4-man social media team that will first meet and consult and then
But do you feel confident tweeting something out without it going through some?
Yeah, if there's something that I feel important, that needs to be out, I'll tweet.
So they give you total reign on that.
Yeah, we have 2 gatekeepers, myself and another guy in our organization.
Okay, so you're the top gatekeeper. Way to go.
Coby, do you use any third-party apps or sites to push your content?
We use through the NFL. We have Buddy Media.
So you use them to push it?
That's what we use them. But I'm always looking for open, because we're really trying to push. Along with my hire and some of the obviously the growth in social media, we're always looking for. I'm always exploring other options or anything that can help us or benefit us, but as of right now, we use Buddy Media and.
Okay.
Buddy Media is a colossal right now.
Mandy, how are you doing over there? Can you hear? Nope, still can't hear.
You can hear. She just can't talk.
Charles, help her out. Hey, how far do y'all live from each other, Coby? Can Mandy come over to your house? Y'all are both in Arizona.
I'm in Tempe.
What if she's across the street from you?
You guys know each other?
Can you type the address? Where are y'all located?
I do not know Mandy.
Mandy's with the Phoenix Suns. let's start questioning Mandy, because I really feel bad that she's on the show as a guest. Mandy, my question to you is, and you can type the answer. What are the Phoenix Suns doing? You're a little bit different from Coby. You're not a social media content provider, but you are really engaging the sponsors and the corporate side to engage with the customers and the fans. Is that correct? And how do you use social media to do that? Everybody pause for a minute as she types. She's going to type her answer. While you're typing your answer, let's have either Steven or Miguel ask a question for Coby. While he answers and Minnie types up a 2-page paragraph, we'll come back to her answer in a minute.
Hey, don't forget Brad.
Yeah, I was going to ask you too. I mean,
no, Brad, I don't want you yet. You're not ready.
That's fine.
Miguel, you ready?
Well, I'm trying to catch up here.
Okay, never mind. Brad, you're back. I love
I was
Brad.
going to ask you, are you viewed differently by the players in the organization from the rest traditional media? I mean, or do you guys feel like y'all are, players, you guys as maybe the team members, or they see you as the media? I mean, how do they?
Team members.
It's hard to be an equal of $1 million athlete as if you're anyone, but yeah, we're looked at different than the writers because we are part of the team. We see them team hotel. We see them, on the team bus. You'll see them around the building and everything. You're looked differently, and we get different access with them. But as far as I don't know, hanging out on the weekends or something, we're not, palling around. But they do give us more access, and they look at us. A couple of them will know your name.
All right, and Mandy's still typing away. She's really fired up.
Mandy's working.
She is working.
I think she's working.
I
can hear her.
But I don't think I can talk for Mandy. Allison has a female voice.
Mandy,
Allison, can you read the answer, please?
I'll read it. Before we allow partners to leverage our platform, we make sure it has a creative hook back to the team.
Wait, Charles, hold on. We can't hear Allison's or Mindy's answer through Allison. Go, Allison.
Before we allow partners to leverage our platform, we make sure it has a creative hook back to the team.
Okay. Man, Mandy, you are awesome. I love that you're hanging in tough here. I don't think and I know Steve Nash. Knew him when he was a young kid, when he actually had a weird haircut and stuff with the Mavericks.
Used to.
Yeah. But
Mandy's voice is working.
Mandy, he does not try as hard as you do.
You guys can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. That's what I've been trying to say for the past 5 minutes.
Yay! Oh my gosh, Mandy's
I just work for digital, and I can't figure out Google Plus. This is
Mandy, wow, you're here. But it was your first time. Mandy goes, well, I've never tried Google Plus. I'm like, it's so easy. And the fact that you just dove in, respect, everybody give her respect. Come on. How about applause?
Thank you.
What do you think of this, Mandy?
It's really cool. I'm glad I could at least hear you guys the entire time. So I've learned so much about the Cardinals. So it's great.
Awesome. And y'all are like buddies now.
Yeah, we'll have to do lunch.
But you're different because you deal more with the corporate side. Tell us a little bit about how that's different. You obviously want to create content, but it can't be pushy in a way. You can't be salesy. How do you find balance between salesy, great content, and making the sponsor feel welcome with the fans?
Sure. I'm so glad I finally get to talk and tell everybody what we do. We've got a really big team, and we've got a great leader, Jeremy McPeak. He's our vice president of digital, and he's kind of, given us all the vision. And then we've got a person that is dedicated to all the content, actually dedicated to everything. Like you said, what I do is focus just on our marketing partners and making sure that that they can leverage our platform for social or for any of our digital assets for that matter. But we make sure that it's got a creative hook or some kind of tie back to the team.
Okay.
And that's how we really balance it, not being really salesy as far as
right.
Text in this number for this marketing partner. So
it doesn't work.
Right. So we, there's a lot of strategy behind it, and we make sure that there's a hook. For example, we've got for one of our partners, it's a stat star of the week. So each Monday we'll push something out through our Facebook channels and say, player XYZ was your stat star of the week. Click over here to see, the following week's stats or whatever, and then it takes the page into Suns.com, and then that page is also branded by that partner. So it's kind of layers, and we try to build on as much as we can with just that hook.
And what have you found the most effective tool? And it changes all the time, let's face it. Social media is changing all the time. What have your sponsors and what have you liked recently that you have found, wow, this has been really successful, whether it's Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Pinterest even? What are you liking right now? What is your favorite tool?
I like it all. My favorite, just personally, I really like Foursquare, just because it's such a drive to retail component, and that's what a lot of our partners need, and that's what a lot of them do is, we either have player appearances or we're driving to kiosks or concourse tables or things within the arena. So it's really cool to post a Foursquare promotion or a special, a campaign, whatever you want to call it, and physically see the people come up to a table or to a kiosk and show their phone and say, hey, I want to get my T-shirt or I want to come to this post game, So it's really cool to see, a digital platform, turn into real life that quick.
I was actually at a New England Revolution game this past weekend, and we walk in, and on the big scoreboard it says check in on Foursquare. So I'd pull up my phone, check in. My friends are giving me a hard time, and immediately pops up, come get your free T-shirt behind section 107. They immediately both signed up for Foursquare and checked in, so they could get a T-shirt. So
we've done that a lot. It's great.
Mandy?
Yes.
Mandy, did you find that Foursquare is more beneficial for location checking in than like a Facebook check-in? Or more, I guess, more content, more engagement?
Probably, I don't use Facebook check-ins, so I can't really answer that.
That's the answer I was looking for, I guess, really.
Yeah, I mean, I use social platforms differently. We're heavily engaged in Twitter at the Suns and Facebook.
Right.
Over 600,000 people on Facebook. But I personally don't check in on Facebook because I use it for a different purpose than work for Twitter. So Foursquare for me, yeah.
Yeah, y'all have you have 500,000 right now?
Yeah, between Facebook, Twitter, and Google Plus, we have over 1 million followers.
Where do you think the future is going with this in a way? Because what I'm seeing, I mean, I left network television. I was in it for 25 years, and I left it to do a social media company of my own. But what I'm learning is really teams and these brands, I mean, obviously you still have to rely on NBC to get your games covered and ESPN and all that. I get that. But realistically, the teams are starting, like Caleb was talking about, Coby was talking about, teams are starting to own their own media rights in a way. They're starting to become their own reporters, their own network, where they could get the sponsor dollars through their own channels. I think in 20 years, this could be a very interesting deal where teams are going to be able to control their own content.
Mm-hmm. And we were the first team also to hire a social media sideline reporter. So, it's a broadcast portion, it's an in-game portion, and, she reports things that are being tweeted out, things that are on Facebook, any questions and things like that. So, it's been really cool.
And you would think there's really more opportunities with that, with sponsorships and all that kind of stuff, because you can really distribute the messaging the way you want, and you don't have to rely on a network to tell you when the commercial's running. You can kind of create your own campaigns.
Sure, yeah. I mean, at the Suns, they own their own TV and radio rights. So for in-game and pre-game, and then our radio. So yeah, so all of our own partners run in all those spots.
Ken, do you have a question at all? Ken used to work with the Texas Rangers, so Ken, you probably have a question for somebody out here on this stuff.
Well, I was going to ask. I wanted to ask, I have two questions. I have one for Coby and one for Mandy as well. But Coby, how much do you monitor like your front office staff and personnel, or how much do you, offer or make them engage, or give them support, or give them pointers on how to engage in social media to help? And this same question for you, Mandy, to help your efforts or help the team's marketing and branding efforts. How much do you rely on those people? Because working in sports for 17 years, I mean, I know that the average fan is dying for a connection, like to feel like an insider to their team. So if they can have, connected with someone in marketing or someone in ticket sales or someone, wherever, it's a good thing in my opinion. So how much do you work with your reps or your front office staff and things like that to show them how to use your platforms and show them how to use your, what your marketing or your, social media marketing plans are?
I know that our owner is really forward thinking in that department. He doesn't personally use social media to his benefit or like a Jim Irsay, or I don't know if that's a benefit, but he's very forward thinking though, very progressive in that field. And I mean, as a matter of fact, he actually pitched an idea to us once, and we used it, and it was pretty successful. But you're not going to tell the owner no. But it was I thought it was fairly successful. We Skyped with players from player scouts, and as well as him from the combine to his local restaurant in Phoenix. But so he's really forward thinking in that department for us. I know that Mandy can speak on the Suns. I like that their entire department, their entire team, it feels like staff-wise, has a Twitter account, and they make it known on their website and everything. I know Mandy can speak more to that.
That's really cool.
Yeah, we have over 30 employees that tweet on behalf of the Suns, and all,
that's awesome.
Depending on what department they're in. My Twitter handle is Suns Digital Diva because I do digital things. But we've got Suns PR girl, and then we've got people that do PR. We've got people that tweet on behalf of Suns charities. We've got players, we've got coaches, and you can find a page on Suns.com. We've broken it all down into like what department people are in, whether it's HR, charities, digital, that kind of stuff. So everybody really embraced it, and a lot of that goes to Jeremy McPeak, our VP. He really embraced it and got everybody behind it, and has really been the champion for it.
Well, social media works because I contacted Mandy and Coby on social media just randomly, and they're like, yeah, I'll try this out, and this is so cool. Here we are, and we're all sharing great information and what we're doing, I think that's awesome.
It's just
Steve Nash was the first, actually, in this whole thing. I mean, I know you've read all the articles that he's been written up in. He was one of the first to really embrace social media as an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
It's him and one other golfer. I think it was Ian Poulter.
Yeah,
of
don't forget
PGA.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaq was
Shaq was up there too.
And
But
Shaq
Steve
was on the
Nash
sub.
was huge
When he
in
was on
diving out there and trying this stuff. Does that help when a player does that kind of stuff for y'all?
Definitely. I mean, we, as far as and I can only speak to partner messages and client relations, but very rare. We never ask players or coaches or anything like that to tweet something out. I mean, very rarely, unless it's like a big opportunity. And a lot of times they'll do it on their own. For example, if there's a player appearance that they're gonna be appearing at or something, then they'll tweet on behalf and say, hey, I'm out here at the Verizon store at Camelback Avenue. Come see me. So obviously we love it when they do that.
Yeah,
but
that's huge.
we don't typically ask them. So.
Yeah.
I can echo that.
It's definitely kind of an organic process. You can't force somebody.
No, but I think it's cool that a player is already engaged in that kind of stuff. That helps the brand.
Well, no, I agree. That's definitely great. I was just going to say, I think the Atlanta Falcons have on their website, on their roster of all their front office, they have everybody's LinkedIn, a hot link to the LinkedIn and their Twitter, like all their, which, I just think everybody, if you're involved in the sales or marketing or customer service, should be worried about their own personal brand and how they can use it to help their team's efforts.
Mm-hmm.
All right, anybody else got some more questions? I don't want to take too much of y'all's time. Y'all can stay as long as you want. We only got
I got a
8
question.
more minutes.
Out of all the media sites that y'all use, which one do you get the most interaction from? And based on that interaction, do you end up having to interact more with that one or more with the ones that aren't interacting with you? Like what is your method of handling that?
For us, we get the most interaction because our highest following is Facebook. Twitter, we just started an official account in October, so it's not as much. The fan base isn't as high. We have a unique situation. Our team writer has his own Twitter account, and that gets a lot of engagement. He has, I think, over 23,000 fans right now, or followers rather. He gets a lot of engagement, but for us, the most, just based on size and numbers-wise, is Facebook. It's because, you guys have read all the stats. Everyone spends most of their time on Facebook, so that's where we get the most. And like I was saying earlier, we kind of tailor our message to the idea that we have of our fans on that medium of Facebook.
Same thing with us. Facebook, I think, is, that's our heavy hitter, and we take it, the team takes it really serious as far as, when to put a message out, how many messages, there's definitely a strategy behind it, and, so, yeah, Facebook for us.
And with the addition, or the introduction of Timeline, it's almost like it's a second website. So, that's where we get our most users.
I think everyone always like, I don't want more social media. I don't want Pinterest and all these things to start coming up. Tout with a quick little video on. I'm like, bring it, man. Bring as many opportunities, because it opens up so many different things you can play with, so many different tools that you can give to a sponsor, you can give to an athlete. Do you agree, disagree, or is it overwhelming?
I know that with our organization, we like to, since we're pretty short-handed, we like to focus on what we do have, although it's kind of been a slow process. They're letting us expand here and there. But we like to, since we're pretty short-staffed, we focused on being good at Facebook and Twitter before expanding. We did add a Pinterest, and we just started really toying with our Google Plus page. And I've been adamant since I've got here about that. But mainly, I personally embrace all social media sites and new ones popping up here and there. If there's a social media site that's like buzzing, I'm on it personally. But mainly for research, seeing if it's something that we would be interested in doing. But from an organizational standpoint, we like to focus on being good in the areas that we can manage.
Are you still on MySpace?
No.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I want to make sure you're up to date.
I said if it was buzzing.
Okay. That thing is on a coma, but, some people are still on it,
Right.
And that's okay. You can do it if you want.
Hey, I've got a question. I've got a question for the both of you. I know there's a lot of you guys obviously work for some pretty forward-thinking owners and bosses. What would be the one bit of advice that you give out to other teams? Because we all know there's a good number of teams that are really old school and afraid to jump into this space. And I've had VPs of marketing tell me, well, I don't want to give my people a voice on social media, or I want to use additional channels because I know they work. What one bit of advice would you give to your colleagues out there that would, to maybe open them up to the idea of embracing social media a little more? Go.
That was a good one, Ken. That was a serious question.
I had to think about that.
Because it is a scary thing. I mean, people are scared of it. Why?
I think to me, I think it's just the unknown, and it's just so new. No one, it doesn't seem new to us anymore because we've been doing it, and we've got measured results, and we've got case studies and best practices, and know what works and what doesn't work. So I think, that learning curve, it was proving what works. It was analytics. It was, like I mentioned a Foursquare, it's having somebody see that there's people that, are going to show up. So I think it's just having measured results is the best way to prove somebody it works.
Absolutely, I would have to agree with that. If I were to give advice, which I would probably be the last person they would want to listen to, but if I were to give advice to someone at another team, I would definitely say, use your analytics, tie it back into, monetizing your site or showing some kind of benefit that this social media is providing your team, and your exposure rather. Excuse me. I don't think it ever could hurt. You know what I'm saying? It's they're all free sites. This is how I look at it. Free sites for you, and it's your brand. Why not be on it to be pushing out your message? Because if you're not, your team name Followed by Fan Club is out there doing that, pushing their own message. So why not be on the site yourself? It's your brand.
Well, you just tell an older owner, you say, okay, then let's stop doing TV interviews and radio interviews. It's the same game. You're just on the channel. That's all you're doing.
You can tailor the message.
That's all that is it. That's the only difference. It's well, I'm gonna beat up the Ken. Are you ready for this one?
Yeah, let me answer my own question first, though.
I got one. Okay,
let me
go
answer
ahead.
my own question before you beat me up.
No, not you. I'm not beating you up. I'm beating myself up.
The two things that I think I would recommend is that the analytics is big, and I think most people on the surface don't really understand that you can get analytics and try to figure out and really see the engagement. And that's maybe, boohoo on us. We need to do a better job on educating, the masses that, hey, you can measure this stuff now. You can figure out who's engaging with you. And then the second thing, which is kind of a little more of an untapped area, and this is kind of some of the stuff that I'm working on, is, relationships, understanding your customers at a different or deeper level, equals sales and equals long-term business and equals, people out there being championed for your brand and your team and your effort. So, those are the two things that jump out at me is, you can see who's engaging with you, and then learn your customer on a deeper level. You got to meet them at that, wherever platform they're at.
Well, Mandy would like this better. I'm not going to go back to that thing now. It's already an old story. But Mandy, you'll like this one. I started working. I was with Fox Sports for 20 years, and then left, and then I sold something to Budweiser, and it was a social media campaign 4 years ago, and they're like, I don't know. So they tried it out, and then they re-signed again, second year, third year, fourth. Now they're in their fourth year. And I've got a testimony. You can look it up. And the guy says it's the best marketing dollars we've ever spent. So what it did was, y'all talk about analytics and where the ROI is. What they saw was the interaction. It's no longer one-way messaging where old TV, and I'm from TV. I don't want to beat up TV, but it's old. It's one way. We're just going to give it to you instead of the interaction, the multiple interactions that you can get. And if you create content that is connected with fans and with the brands, then they're part of the story rather than you just telling the story to them. And it's a big difference. I know that sounds simplistic, but Ken made a great point. It's like, are these brands going to ever figure it out? Some of them are starting to realize that, you know what, this is a more effective tool. And that's my question to you, is a long-winded question. Sorry about that. I'm usually quick on questions. But my question to you is, are brands at the beginning were they hesitant, and now are they like, wow? And what kind of responses are you getting now?
Yes. There's still some that are just like, we want Facebook. Put some Twitter, and we want to do Twitter, but not really having a strategy. So back to, we come up with that creative hook and say, okay, this is how we're gonna, this is how we're gonna help you guys. This is how you can leverage our platform, our fans, and things like that. So it's really organic that way. And what I have seen, I'm in my third season now at the Suns, and what I have seen from the very beginning is that they're coming to us now and they're saying, what can we do? And there's a new passion with it, and they come to us with ideas and say, would this work? And they understand that it can't just be a sales message. So I think that's been the biggest improvement with a lot of the partners that we do work with is they get how it does need.
Give me a specific, not even the most successful campaign, but your most fun, where you thought, wow, and the sponsors loved it. Like, what did you do, or what was one that you thought was creative?
Sure. One that we've got going on right now, I don't know how exciting it is as far as the hook, but it works really well because it uses every single piece of marketing in our organization for a partner is, who do you think will be player of the game? And so we post who was the player of the game tonight, and we post that after the game. Fans go on and they say, I think Steve Nash got it, or I think
Gotcha.
Jared Dudley was amazing, whatever. And then the next day, or that's a poll that we do, and then the next day, as a follow-up, we say, you voted, here's your partner XYZ player of the game, and it's got a link. And so we've created a landing page on that where people can enter their information, and then at the end of the season, win like courtside seats, a VIP experience, the ultimate Suns experience. But what we've done is, they've got that Facebook element, they've got the Suns.com element. We run LED during the game of player of the game, go here, player, Suns.com player of the game. So we're using, in-game, Facebook, Suns.com. We're using all the different digital assets that we possibly can, so it all ties in, and it's just a well-oiled, marketing campaign.
You also do a scavenger hunt, by the way.
To go along with that,
you also do a scavenger hunt at the stadium.
Okay, we'll do that.
A Foursquare scavenger hunt where they have to find the sponsors and they can win, but they have to go around the stadium and they check in. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, we've talked about doing that. It condensed season. It was
yeah,
kinda,
that kind of hurt.
Sure.
Sorry.
But yeah, no, that's on the docket. We want to do
Sorry,
that.
Coby, go ahead.
Oh, no problem. I always, when I'm pitching ideas for our sponsors and stuff like that, I always use the Baltimore Ravens examples. I think they do a really good job. A cool story that they shared with us was M&T Bank is their naming rights to their stadium sponsor, and they came to them. They tried something on their own and came to them and with one Facebook post that had, or it was a tweet, excuse me, that had, win a T-shirt or something, and then they had M&T Bank in the message. And then they tried another post without M&T Bank, and that one got way more response than the one with the state sponsor in the message. And that was the sponsor coming to the team telling them that. And they do campaigns like they filled Toyota with a bunch of footballs, and you had to go on location, and they had like an iPad, and you checked in, you did it all through Facebook. That was one of our Buddy Media saplets, allowed them to do that as well. They had a microsite built, and you guess, how many balls are in the truck to win the truck. And that the way it was obviously sponsored by Toyota, and that's the way you don't just post something like go buy a Toyota. Or eat Campbell's soup. We did an example to show our sales guys. They've been bugging us about putting up this Campbell's soup post, so we did it trial by fire. We said, okay, we'll do it. We did it at an hour when we know a lot of people would be asleep or wouldn't get a lot of eyes. But the eyeballs that did all came back negative. And that we took a screen grab and we showed it like, hey, you guys we can't just throw in Facebook as just a part of the deal. We have to have a strategy behind it. And I think that some of the sponsors they're realizing that, and I mean, you could see with the negative feedback that just a Campbell Soup post got that, you can't just throw things like that up there. The sponsors got to realize.
All right, we're down to about 4 minutes on air, and then we'll close this out. So closing thoughts here shortly, right, Charles? We're at 4 minutes. No, we're at 3 minutes now. Before we close out, Mandy, awesome hanging in there. Typing away. You change your lighting at the last 2 minutes. That's okay. Notice that.
Sorry. I didn't realize how dark it was. Sorry about that.
No, that was good. That was good. You didn't have audio or darkness. It's all good. You're a trooper.
Troubleshooting.
And we had the NFL and the NBA represented. Y'all can come back anytime as non-guests, so then you can drill the next guest. We've had pro athletes on. We've had we've had Carolina Panthers on. We've had Forbes magazine on. We've had Caleb on, that's always big. Ken with the Rangers, those are huge guests. But thank y'all for coming on. Really appreciate it. Closing thoughts. Allison, what did you think? You can say.
I thought it was great. Really good insight, and as kind of a younger person in this profession, getting into the social media and trying to build that into some of the stuff I do. I really enjoyed the insight, so thank you both.
Brad, you're next.
Yeah, I just really like you guys talked about just really making the sponsor cognizant of the reaction when you post something. I know we've really experienced that from our standpoint of, like we'll put something up about, hey, we're excited to welcome Papa John's here. It's like, man, Papa John's pizza sucks, stuff like that. So I really think that,
Brad's with NASCAR.
Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Atlanta Motor Speedway, thank you.
But I mean, that's wholeheartedly agree with some experiences we have had, because obviously in our business, I mean, it is very sponsor driven. So, you've obviously that's.
Oh, I didn't know NASCAR did sponsorships.
I know. Yeah, who knew?
I've never seen it on the athletes and stuff.
But yeah, definitely. I mean, I would just echo that as well. You know,
NBA is thinking about that. Watch out. Okay, next up, Caleb.
I like the answers that I got from my questions. That was pretty good. It was pretty insightful. So just the overall discussion between the two, was pretty good.
Okay, I have nothing to say. I've asked too many questions. Next up, Coby.
I thought this was really cool, man. I probably will be back as a guest. I'm always looking for insight, and I'm always open to. I always feel like if you feel like you can't learn from anyone, then you're never going to learn anything. So I enjoyed the time, and everybody was great.
Dude, you don't have to be a guest. You can come every week. It's every Sunday night. You can come as
Yeah, that's what I said. I'll probably come as just hang out.
Charles, producer. Never mind.
It was a great
Next up,
chat.
Ken.
He was talking. Go,
I'm
Charles.
thanks. Go, Charles.
Thanks,
Playing
bud.
Halo.
Good to see you. Next. No, Charles, I love you, bro. Go. You have 5 seconds.
It was a great chat. Thank you all for joining us. We always enjoy
3, 2, 1.
that.
You're done. Next, Ken.
And just to let everybody know, this video will be available on YouTube momentarily after it processes. So feel free to share. And
Dude, you're supposed to count down harder than this. We're down to 60 seconds. Ken, you're next.
I'm just going to ask you, say thanks and tell you guys to, reach out to other folks in the industry on the team side and have them, start getting involved and sharing ideas and helping everybody in the industry get better. So I'm going to reach out to both you guys on LinkedIn as well.
I'm going to skip Mandy for a second because I want her to close. And she did. No, you're going to close it because you don't have a voice early. And then
No
Miguel,
pressure.
you're up. Miguel has not asked anything tonight.
Well, I had to put my kid to bed tonight, so I was kind of like complaining with my wife. I said they're live right now.
I know. Kids are irrelevant tonight, dude. I got 4 of them.
That's why I took the phone and I was actually answering questions, on Twitter. But you guys did a great job tonight. Mandy, I threw a question on the side about Noche Latina and how maybe you could have given us some feedback on that. Maybe we could touch on that next time.
Okay.
All right, Mandy, close this shop up. What did you think of Google
gosh.
Plus Hangout your first time?
It was
And
fun.
how can we get this damn thing sponsored?
Ooh, good one. Good one. No, it was fun. I'm really glad I did it. And, you're only as strong as, your team. And I've got a fantastic team and people that I work with. And I think it's, always looking out for your brand, always being creative when it comes to social. And, just finding the right balance is the smartest thing to do. So I'm glad I did this. Thank you so much for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
Everybody,
you.
exit. We appreciate it. Charles is the best way to do it. Hard out. Everyone, peace out. See you next
Peace
week.
out.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, there's a